It's absolutely illogical to carry on riding somewhere with this broken madness.
Und die Erde geht unter. Ganz oben steht der Mond und er schaut jeden Tag auf die Erde herunter.
A wonderful good morning. Greetings to the girls. Hello to the boys. I'm currently digging out the fuel reserves I buried there so that the sun doesn't completely destroy them during the day. And lo and behold, they are all sealed tight. So I'm going to top up now to see how much fuel we've got left. I'd probably put in 3 liters, and a liter means 4 liters over 70 kilometers in the sand. That would take us right up to the 5 liters I've needed at some point before. The sand games are starting up again. Up a slope there, and the sand is so soft that it was over in a flash. About 200 meters. It's lovely nonetheless. Going to be fun. The rear frame has snapped off. Over there, the luggage rack has snapped off. That's actually another reason to turn back rather than carrying on for another 300 kilometers. I don't like riding with the rucksack on my back, but I've now taken a bit more weight off the rear and strapped the hydration bag to my belly. The hip bag around the tank bag, and that's how I tackle the right back now. It's absolutely illogical to carry on riding somewhere with this broken madness. I'm taking it really easy now, of course. I reckon it'd take me about 2.5 hours if I didn't have to dig my way out again. It's been going slightly uphill back there, no chance of getting out, not even with more power. The back wheel just keeps digging in, so I took the back off, shoveled like a madman again, lifted the moped out and then walked it over to the flat bit. I hope I can get out of here now. So I'm riding. Now I've got 2 tracks I can follow. At the back, the tire keeps scraping against the exhaust or the manifold or both, but I'm riding at 34. 70 kilometers takes 2 hours. The light is coming from quite far behind, you can't see much at all. And the sand is really soft in places. But it's working now. Once you've got some momentum, it already works. Getting started is extremely difficult. You have to run alongside it because of the way that the back, even light marsh gear isn't that light. And once you're up to speed, as I said, it works anyway. Stand up here and there, and I hope it gets well again this time. The good thing is, from that perspective, the tracks. I know that behind them, so to speak, there's never really any of that steep descent. That means, if I follow the tracks, it shouldn't really be a problem as far as riding is concerned. The moon is still out, it's just after 9, so it's not too hot yet. I've managed to get at the first stretch of gravel, the firmer sort. You just have to be extremely careful. I'm also worried I might damage the tire. I'll check it out now. That's the advantage of the regional exhaust silencer, because it has 3 mounting points and certainly provides good support. I'll just carry on rolling along at a leisurely pace. I'm taking it very easy. I reckon the relief of the rear with the rucksack is definitely an advantage. I haven't managed to far yet, namely 8 kilometers. I've just tightened the rear straps again. It was rattling quite loosely. I'll just have to try to avoid these bushes as much as possible. not to ride too fast, but without speed, it's hard to steer. It's like riding in deep snow. Once you've got a bit of momentum, it goes nicely. If you're too slow, you're stuck all the time. Now that I've got the deep sand behind me, where riding fast is practically essential, tough, not exactly fun, with a broken rear frame, I'm now in this rocky desert. And now I'm cruising along at 30-40 km/h and just making sure I get out of here without spending the last 5 kilometers back at the pickup next to the goat. It's now 10:30 a.m. and it's starting to get a bit warmer again. Having done this route 3 times by now, of course, I really do think that the makeshift clutch repair with the 3 screws actually held up well enough that I almost made it back. In places the sand was so deep that, well, I don't want to say it borders on a miracle, but once again it was more like perhaps the deft ones get lucky. I've had that before, haven't I? Or several times. Up ahead, behind the bush, there's where we loaded up Atar yesterday. That means I'm out of the turnaround now. It's just over this top hill, then another 100 meters, and then something that's most like tarmac starts. And all is well. That was the distance from when I realized the damage of the broken rear end all the way into town to the Kif restaurant, 72.3 kilometers. I'd obviously forgotten to record the track this time, so I've not documented it in words and pictures. I've booked a hotel here in Zouerat, and it was the best decision. It's covered after all. I've already taken the panniers off and removed the first few spools. And as a subsequent error, it's already torn off there. And it was already torn off there anyway. And the subframe is, of course, also damaged. I'm actually lucky that there is a welder here. He will weld it for me. I'm going to unscrew the luggage rack now. Then the rear frame will be welded, and then I reckon it's best to put the rack back on and perhaps weld it on in place once it's in position. You can see much better now how the silencer has been pulled over it. Right, I'll carry on unscrewing. The luggage rack's already come off. Now I'm unscrewing the plastic bit at the back. Let's see how much we need to take off there, or rather I do. This is what the rear looks like now. There's the last part. That's the luggage rack. And now we have to weld it all back together somehow. I could have a go, but I won't manage it. It would be great if we could fit a couple of tubes in here to stiffen it up or put a few layers over the side, some flat iron or something, but we'll see how that turns out. Right, so now the nice chap had welded it. I hope that's not in the way there with the expansion tank, exhaust mount. Over there underneath there is also a strut, a reinforcement, and back there the thin sheet metal is torn at the top too. That's what he welded first of all. Arturo's now been bolted back together again. The hardest bit was getting the seat bolts back in. Because of the broken rear end, the plastic inside has been completely worn away. So I've left out the spacer sleeve and the rubber piece. Of course, none of this is 100% straight, but with a bit of bending and twisting and positioning everything just right before tightening it down, it's all back on again. And just for the info, I've banked the exhaust in as far as it will go. And I've also tended it at the front. What's funny, of course, is that it's just like it was in Algeria with the washing machine measurement technique. They just use the angle grinder. There's no plug anymore, just the two wires, so no ground anyway. And they just feed those into the cable drum with a little helper. And that's how the 2000-watt cutting disc is powered. No wonder the fuse blows every now and then. But that's what he said, that's just Africa. Right, so now I just have to load all the madness back onto the moped, apart from my bag, which I'm taking with me this time. Pack it all up, and that's that.